We've reached the unofficial start of summer, and the competition keeps heating up here on Pittsburgh Sports Live. Welcome to episode 4 of the Pittsburgh Sports Faceoff, powered by our friends at Burgatory. I'm your host and your quiz master, Matt Geica, and I've transitioned from the suit and tie to a polo shirt. It's plenty hot up here in my home studio, so I'm making adjustments with the weather.
Not hotter than Austin.
Yeah, not hotter from where our fan competitor is joining us here tonight. But if you're just finding us, first of all, where were you for the first 3 episodes? Second of all, here's the gist of what we do here at the Pittsburgh Sports Face-Off. We have a sports media pro from the Pittsburgh Sports Now family squaring off against a fan challenger, and they'll both take a crack at my lineup of 11 Pittsburgh sports trivia questions. If this week's Joe beats the pro, he'll receive a $25 gift card from our friends at Burgatory. Just last week, we had our first fan winner, in fact. If you were watching, you saw Dave Gormley, formerly of Pittsburgh, but now of Connecticut, take down Dan Kingerski, the head honcho at Pittsburgh Hockey Now. So let's meet our competitors for this week's showdown and get it going. Our 4th Pittsburgh Sports Now pro to jump into the ring on the show is the Pittsburgh Sports Now creator and founder, Mike Vukovcan. Mike, are you prepared to take the title back for the PSN crew?
I'm hoping, man. I've been sweating this out the last few hours here. I got a feeling TJ is a sandbagger, so we'll see what we got here.
Sandbagger, ringer, we'll find out in just a little bit. And we already know his first name, but his last name is McAloon. TJ McAloon is our fan challenger this week. He joins us from Austin, Texas, but he has deep South Hills roots. And he worked for both the Pirates and the Penguins, including an undefeated run as Oliver Onion, I'm told, in the Great Pittsburgh Pierogi Race and at. Obviously, TJ, you're a veteran of the high-stakes competition, so this should be nothing for you.
No, and I would be working for the Penguins and probably never had my illustrious run as Oliver Onion if it wasn't for Sidney Crosby. I interned with them. I walked in the day after the draft lottery, and the guy looked at me and said, "We don't need you anymore. Buzz off." I was like, cool. All right.
Well, Sid sells, I suppose we could put it that way. And unfortunately, you weren't there. But hey, you would never had that chance to don the pierogi costume. So in that way, I'm very envious of you. 6-0, I'm told your record was.
102 loss team for the Pirates. So good timing.
Well, that era of Pirates baseball may come up on the show today. Just keep your ears peeled for it. Here are the ground rules, by the way. You two know the ground rules, but this is for the viewers more than anything. We'll start with a series of 5 questions worth 1 point each, then 5 worth 2 points each, then a special final face-off question on which you can wager as many of your accumulated points as you want. It's Jeopardy style, if you will, in the final round. This is also important. In order to buzz in to answer the question first after I complete it, you have to say your name. So Mike will say Mike, TJ will say TJ, and I'll be the judge on who buzzed in first. And also today, I want to let you know that even if you miss it, you don't lose any points. So I want to encourage you to take a shot. So if you miss it as the first guy, whatever. If you miss it as the first guy, the second guy also gets a chance to buzz in. So we're going to get plenty of attempts here on some of these questions that I've drawn up. Are you guys ready to go?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Let's get it going. Enough with the chit chat. And let's start with the 1-point questions today and a quick fullback dive into college football. Pitt has made a bowl game in 11 of the past 12 seasons, you may know, missing only in 2017. However, most of those matchups have been kind of mediocre, including 3 trips to Birmingham for the Compass Bowl and 2 to El Paso for the Sun Bowl. Still, the Panthers have won 4 bowls over that stretch, highlighted by a 2-0 record at which NFL stadium? TJ, go ahead.
Ford Field.
Ford Field is correct. They won the Pizza Bowl, Little Caesars Pizza Bowl, in 2013 over Bowling Green, and just last year was the Quick Lane Bowl against Eastern Michigan. Dramatic fashion there.
I froze on that one.
Yeah, Mike, You should have remembered that at least.
Well, El Paso here in Texas, but it's on the complete other side of it. Might as well have been Detroit.
Yeah, that's a big state there. Okay, TJ, that's one for you on my very sophisticated Pittsburgh Sports Face-Off scoreboard. On to question number 2, and we'll go to hockey now. The Penguins have faced 5 different teams in their 6 trips to the Stanley Cup final. And even the team they lost to in 2008, Detroit, they got vengeance against the Wings the following year in the championship round. But only one of the Penguins' Cup wins came relatively routinely at the finish. Who was the only team to not push the Penguins to at least 6 in the final? Mike, go ahead.
San Jose.
It is incorrect. The Sharks took 6 games for the Penguins to get rid of them. TJ, you can steal the question. Blackhawks is correct. 4 games in 1992.
The Yager goal, game 1.
Yes, Yager and then Lemieux.
Lemieux.
Two of those games, well, there was a Yager goal, believe me.
Yeah.
The one right before it. But 2 of those games were tight. Games 1, actually 3 of them, games 1, 3, and 4. But the Penguins actually finished that playoff with 11 consecutive wins, setting an NHL record. Okay, TJ, you've got the first 2. Much like Dave last week, you're off to a strong start here against the Pro. Let's do baseball now. In 1987, the Pirates were closer to rekindling glory than it might have appeared, but they were still rebuilding. They shocked their fan base when GM Sid Thrift traded all-star catcher Tony Pena to the Cardinals for a pair of younger players who helped lift the franchise for the next several years. One of those newcomers was backstop Mike LaValliere, but who was the other?
Mike.
Mike, heard you first.
What was the end of the question?
One of the newcomers in the trade was Mike LaValliere. Who was the other?
Andy Van Slyke and Mike Dunn.
Andy Van Slyke, correct. You got it. Yeah, you threw in the third as well, but I was going for Van Slyke. You impressed me there. I can't give you a bonus point, but I will give you your first point of the game.
So we are allowed to buzz in, we know beforehand?
No, you are not. As I said, TJ, if you're paying attention, I have to finish the question. So I will ignore all buzz-ins before the question is over. So that's why Mike got that one. All right, it's 2-1. TJ still on top, though, despite the hiccup. Back to hockey, the Penguins in the late 90s. They were in between. Mario Lemieux had retired for the first time, and bankruptcy loomed over the club. And then Ron Francis moved on in free agency. But new captain Jaromir Jagr and the suddenly Euro-oriented Penguins still extended their playoff streak to what was then a franchise best 9 seasons. Who was their defensive-minded coach during that time?
TJ,
go ahead.
Kevin Constantine.
That is correct. Kevin Constantine, and then Herb Brooks took over after that, but Constantine locked things down.
This was saying Halinka.
Yeah, Halinka was already an answer on one of these face-offs, actually the first one. So he holds the distinction of being fired 4 games into an NHL season.
Right.
Constantine made it a little bit longer into 99-2000, though, and really did a good job. 40 wins, in 97-98, and 38 more in 98-99. Okay, so it's 3-1. We haven't missed a question yet. You guys have gotten all of them collectively. Let's talk Steelers football. The Steelers didn't have a first-round pick this spring, you might have noticed, but 7 of their past 9 first-rounders are still with the team, dating back to Marquise Pouncey in 2010. Their only first-rounder since then, who's not in the NFL at all right now, was their 2013 pick, who mustered just 6 NFL sacks in 4 seasons after the Steelers drafted him 17th overall. Who was it? Mike, go ahead.
Jarvis Jones.
Jarvis Jones. Yeah, the only real bust for the Steelers this decade in the first round. Jarvis Jones out of Georgia. Didn't have enough bite, did the Bulldog in the NFL. Signed by the Cardinals after being let go by the Steelers, but just couldn't get healthy, and he's been retired for a couple of seasons now. Okay, it's our tightest game yet through one round. It's 3-2. TJ has 3, Mike has 2, and now we're going to tick up the stakes here with our 2-point questions. Starting with a submitted question from our face-off ghostwriter, Larry Snyder. He once again chimes in. The Pirates of the 1970s were known as the Lumber Company, but there were some speedsters mixed in with all those top sluggers. Which member of the 1979 We Are Family World Champion Bucks set the franchise record, which still stands today, for stolen bases in a single season?
Mike,
go ahead.
Omar Moreno.
Omar Moreno is correct, and you guys remain perfect and dead even. 3 apiece. Moreno stole 96 bags in 1980, the year after the championship. Caught just 33 times. All right. Mike actually takes the lead there with the 2-pointer, so it's 4-3. But you've each answered 3 questions apiece. Back to football. Crafton-born Bill Cowher resigned from the Steelers in 2006, but it was a heck of a career. 15 years, 161 wins while roaming the sideline, a total which includes 12 victories in the playoffs. Cowher's best head-to-head mark in the postseason was 3-0, as he beat this team once in the wildcard round, once in the divisional round, and once in the AFC title game. Who was it?
Wait, say that again?
Bill Cowher was 3-0 in the playoffs against this team.
Mike,
go ahead. We'll bleep it. Don't worry about it.
Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens is incorrect, so TJ, consequence-free, a shot at taking the lead back.
Once in a wild card, once in the title game, once in divisional, right?
Yep, that's correct.
1, 2. Colts?
Colts is right. You pulled that one out. How about it? 5-4. Indy Colts in the 95 championship game. Remember the Hail Mary that rolled off a Colts chest into the end zone? 96 in the wild card round, and then 05 in the divisional game out at Indianapolis. They built the big lead to the Steelers and just barely hung on when Vanderjagt missed. So, yeah, Colts 3-0. 2-0 against the Browns, though. So he took care of the rival in the playoffs as well, did Bill. Hockey time as we get down to the final three. Winger Jake Gensel notched 40 goals last season to lead the Penguins, making him the first Penguin not named Sidney Crosby or Evgeny Malkin to score that many since James Neal did it back in 2011-12. But the question is, before Gensel, who was the last Penguin not named Crosby or Malkin to lead the team in goals overall?
Mike. Alexei Kovalev.
Incorrect, although you're not blamed for going that far back. It does feel like it's been a while. TJ, you have a chance to take this one.
This is the Penguins.
The last non-Crosby Malkin Penguin to lead the team in goals.
Not point. Shoot.
5 seconds.
Honestly, Kessel.
Not Phil Kessel. Chris Kunitz, would you believe it? 2012-13 with an asterisk. Sidney Crosby had the broken jaw late in that lockout season. Kunitz only had 22, but it was good enough to beat Neal by 1, and Pascal Dupuis by 2. So it was more Kunitz and Dupuis finishing Sid setups that year. Score remains 5-4. TJ ahead by just 1 point, and this is a 2-point round, so it can flip in a hurry. It can flip right now, in fact. Pitt basketball now. Jamie Dixon achieved uncommon success as coach of the Panthers, posting a record of 328 and 123 in 13 seasons. He actually set an NCAA record for most wins in his first 6 seasons as a D1 head coach. It was at the end of that 6th season, 2008, that Pitt won its only Big East title game under Dixon's watch. Which team did they beat? TJ, go ahead.
UConn.
Incorrect. Mike, a chance to steal.
Georgetown.
Georgetown is the right answer, and Mike Vukovcan edges ahead. It's our best game yet. We've been back and forth all night. 6-5 is your score at the moment, heading into the final 2-point question. This will set the table for the final face-off. Ask anyone who the best player in the history of baseball is, and you'll get a variety of answers. Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Barry Bonds, Mike Trout. But the Pirates' own Honus Wagner should probably get a mention too, as Baseball Reference has him as the 7th best position player ever, at least according to wins above replacement. Honus was a hometown star too, as he was born in and died in which Pittsburgh suburb? Mike, I got you first. Carnegie is right, and Vukovcan has 8 to TJ's 5. TJ, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Homestead.
Homestead. Okay, I was going to say not Whitehall, I don't think. That's where...
No, he's at Calumet, PA. Shout out Calumet.
Carnegie is the answer. Technically, Chartiers was the birthplace, but it merged with Carnegie. That's the current Carnegie, and he died by the time it was Carnegie. That's when Honus passed away. So, yes, just west of downtown by a couple of miles. All right, score reset. Like I said, 8-5. And I'm going to give you the category first before you place your wagers for final face-off. The category is Bucko Dark Ages. So, gentlemen, write down your wager. You can wager as much as you like here in the final face-off round. And then I'll give you the question.
What's the score again, Matt?
8-5 you, Mike.
8-5. This is hard because I'm a gambler at heart.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm sure you can do the math. You know exactly how much you need to put TJ away.
2.
Might be a little more than that.
Easy there, Locks.
Okay.
I may be in the South now, but yeah, I still have my Anchor, Pittsburgh Vinegar, Northeast State running through.
All right.
I've noticed that. It hasn't it hasn't cooked it out of you yet, those high 90s temps. All right, if you guys are ready, I'm ready. You'll have 20 seconds to scratch out an answer here, and you have to get both parts of the question right in order to get your points. We've been doing multiple pronged questions here in the final. I'm going to continue with that here today. Here's the question. Although the ballpark opened with great promise, there have been many more losses than wins, unfortunately, since PNC Park debuted. But almost exactly 16 years ago this weekend, one of the more remarkable achievements in the history of MLB took place on the North Shore. During a Memorial Day doubleheader, an otherwise unremarkable Pirates outfielder hit a pinch-hit walk-off grand slam in Game 1. Then in the nightcap, sent it into extra innings with a tying home run in the 9th. Who was the player and which team did he hit those astounding dingers against? You have to get both the player and the opponent on that memorable Memorial Day. Go ahead. Three, two, and we are done. Okay, so TJ, you came into the round trailing. You had 5 points to Mike's 8, so show us your wager first.
Okay, I'm going to wager
all of it.
The number 5.
All of it, and your answer, I saw part of it. I know you got at least part of it right.
Vukovcan is the Astros.
I'll give it to you on the spelling. The spelling is wrong, but you know who it is, Vukovcan, and it was not the Astros, though, unfortunately.
I knew it.
So, Mike, unless you did something crazy, you're in the driver's seat. Let's see what you got. What'd you wager?
I wagered 3, and 3. I did Rob Vukovcan and the Cubs.
The Cubs is correct. Mike Vukovcan defends his ground, holds his ground for the Pittsburgh Sports Now team, and he wins this one, technically 11-0, but as we know, very close here this afternoon, this evening on Pittsburgh Sports Faceoff. So, Mike, round of applause. You were nervous coming in, but you got it done. What got you through the big moment there?
Luck. A lot of useless, as my wife says, a lot of useless knowledge up in my head. I don't remember the important things, but Rob Vukovcan, I could even tell you where I was.
Oh, were you in the stadium or watching at home?
I was at my wife's house in Bradford.
Okay.
I remember watching the doubleheader.
And it was the same day that Rob's wife gave birth to a son. So talk about important things to remember. I think Rob's going to remember that Memorial Day 2000,
I think so.
2004. Well, TJ, hope you had a good time. You were obviously a game contestant. I knew you would give Mike a great run. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to bring you on board here and go up against the head honcho. Thanks again, and give you some time here to just talk about whatever you want to talk about for a few seconds.
Well, see, I don't live in Pittsburgh, so I let Mike have the win because I don't want the $25 gift card to go away, go awry.
Oh, I see.
Obviously, that's why I said the Astros and not the Cubs.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Exactly. You know, I figured you guys need it, seeing that you're both stuck inside where it's sweet.
All right, hey, TJ, I got a favor for you. You're in Austin, so Pitt has a recruit, Nate
Travis
quarterback.
Yeah, he's in my backyard here.
I want you to give us throughout the year, I might have to check in with you. You might be our correspondent from Austin to give us a scouting report on how Pitt's quarterback of the future is doing.
That's right. Well, it can't be any worse than Pickett or the interception, Tino Sinceri, or the Stonehenge Nate Peterman, or so on and so forth. Which,
all right. Well,
hey,
all right, we'll check in with you this year.
Yeah, get up to Nate. He did beat Clemson, and Clemson only lost that year. So shout out to Nate Peterman. No, so the kid you got just recruited from Lake Travis, which is where I live in Austin, Texas, Lake Travis. I run the site Texas HS Football. I am COO of that site, which we will be covering everything that goes on here in Lake, as they are one of the superpowers in the state of Texas. They would have made the finals last year, but they lost to North Shore in the state final, who then went on to win the Division 6A, Division 1 title game, which held a record 48,000 people inside of jury room. So it was a fun game to be at. Also the game where the star recruit who just got recruited by TCU, Zach Evans, got kicked off his team beforehand for refusing to give up his cell phone the night before. Yeah.
I'll have to check in with you this year, and we're definitely going to be following Nate on Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Drama. I love it.
Have a lot of people.
Our outlet down there. Beautiful.
Yeah. He's got a lot of people that are going to be 68 his eyes on him, bearing that we're allowed to go see him.
Fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, right. But no, it was fun. I very much enjoyed being on here. I wish I could do it inside of my game room, which also does the speedy room, which has my Jean-Claude Van Damme Southern Chef movie poster hanging in the background. But as you can see, my 2-year-old came and video bombed us earlier. Tyler.
I heard something, yeah.
Yes, that was Tyler, which his big sister Kennedy did not come in here. And if you're paying attention, my kids' name are Tyler Kennedy.
What a way to finish it. I knew that already, but thanks for the refresher. Jeez. Talk about a Pittsburgh Sports Now. Oh, awesome. It was a great game. That's, as I said, during the game, that was our best game yet. Back and forth. It was outstanding. I hope everyone watching at home or wherever you are enjoyed that. And I want to remind you as well that you can vie for the prize yourself on Pittsburgh Sports Faceoff. Just contact me on Twitter at Matt Geica or send me an email at the address that you see flashing across your screen right now. I'll take your info, I'll put you in line, and we'll get you set to go for a coming episode of the Face-Off. For Mike Vukovcan of Pittsburgh Sports Now, for TJ McAloon coming to us from Austin, Texas, and the entire Pittsburgh Sports Now family, this is Matt Geica saying good game, great game in fact, goodbye, and God bless. Talk to you next time.